At the very beginning of the story, we see a team of men traveling in a vehicle along a forest road. They are members of a Mexican Special Forces squad. At this moment, they are returning to their village for vacation. After many years, the 5 friends have finally been released together. They are very happy and enjoying their return to their hometown. But after a short distance, several vehicles suddenly ram their vehicle from all directions. Within seconds, everything becomes chaotic. They have no idea who attacked them or why. Without wasting any time, they jump out of the vehicle, grab their rifles, and open fire. Together, the 5 fight so fiercely that the attackers fail to realize their true strength. One of them pulls out a knife and slashes an attacker's chest and stomach. Another snatches a weapon from an attacker and opens fire. You can immediately tell that they are members of a Special Forces squad. This is a completely different level of combat. Within seconds, the 5 eliminate all of the attackers. Afterward, everyone returns to their positions. Now we need to find out who attacked these special squad members. From here, the story takes us back to an incident that happened 72 hours earlier. Here we meet a girl named Isabella. She has a doctor's appointment today. Her older sister is taking her to the clinic on a scooter through a vast field. But on the way, Isabella suddenly starts feeling worse. She quickly pulls over and begins vomiting. As she walks into the nearby wheat field, she notices something that fills her with fear. Terrified, the 2 sisters skip the doctor's appointment and rush straight to the nearest police station to report what they saw. When they arrive, several more people enter the station. From their appearance, it is obvious that they belong to a mafia gang. As soon as they enter, they try to seize Isabella and her sister right in front of the police. The officers simply stand there and watch without interfering. It becomes clear that even the police are afraid of this mafia. In a shop next to the police station, we meet a Mexican Special Forces captain named Albert. Hearing the commotion outside, he steps out to see what is happening. He notices several men harassing the 2 girls right in front of the police. Unable to control his anger, Albert pulls out his gun. His friend quickly warns him that these men are the sons of David, the most dangerous mafia boss in the city. He tells Albert not to get involved, but Albert ignores the warning. He lowers his gun, steps forward, and orders the gang members to release the girls. However, the country's top mafia thugs have no intention of listening. Instead, they point their guns at Albert's head. Albert instantly draws his weapon and begins taking them down one by one. He fires rapid headshots, blowing apart the skulls of several attackers. None of them realize that the man standing before them is a Special Forces captain. Within moments, he eliminates multiple thugs. Then he points his gun at their leader, David's brother. Taking him hostage, Albert orders the remaining gang members to drop their weapons. At that moment, police officers step out of the station. Instead of helping him, they point their guns at Albert and order him to surrender. Albert tells them that he is the captain of the Mexican Special Forces squad, but the officers are already under David's influence and on his payroll. Meanwhile, Isabella and her older sister explain that the gang members were harassing them and Albert was only trying to protect them. Even so, the police refuse to believe them. Finally, Albert throws his ID card toward the officers. As soon as one officer picks it up and examines it, he breaks into a cold sweat. Realizing that they cannot challenge a Special Forces captain, the police are forced to arrest David's men. As the officers escort the gang members away, Albert asks Isabella why she came to the police station. She then tells him exactly what she saw in the wheat field. After hearing her story, thousands of Special Forces personnel arrive at the location. Their massive deployment makes it clear that something extremely dangerous has happened. The Special Forces immediately seal off the entire area. Then we finally see what Isabella witnessed. In the middle of the wheat field, severed limbs and body parts are scattered everywhere. Some bodies are missing their arms. Others have lost their legs. Several torsos lie torn apart across the field. All of the victims are wearing Special Forces uniforms. Yes, the people who were brutally hacked to pieces and dumped in the field are Special Forces soldiers. But who could possibly be powerful enough to massacre elite Special Forces members in such a horrifying way? You will learn the answer very soon. The story behind what happened to these soldiers will also be revealed later. The Special Forces collect all the remains and transport them to the base camp. There, the fallen soldiers are given a final farewell with full state honors. Each family received a special award in honor of their loved one's bravery. The incident spread across Mexico like wildfire, creating widespread fear. The situation became so serious that the Lieutenant General called an emergency meeting with his generals. He stated that if even Special Forces soldiers were not safe, then ordinary civilians had no chance of protecting themselves. The Lieutenant General made it clear that anyone capable of killing 10 Special Forces soldiers could not be an ordinary criminal. Therefore, it was critical to capture those responsible as quickly as possible, dead or alive. Captain Albert of the Mexican Special Forces was assigned to lead the mission. He was ordered to hunt down everyone involved in the massacre, no matter what, dead or alive. Meanwhile, on the other side, we meet a man named David. He is at home preparing a delicious meal for his 2 young daughters. As he cooks, he watches the news on television, where reports reveal that the murder of the Special Forces soldiers has become national headlines. Now imagine if I told you that this simple and innocent-looking man is actually the same person who brutally slaughtered those Special Forces soldiers. Would you believe it? As quiet and humble as he appears in front of his family, he is just as dangerous outside. He lives a peaceful life with his wife and 2 adorable daughters. However, his family has no idea that he is actually a ruthless gangster. More importantly, he is a violent and unpredictable psychopath. While feeding his daughters, the doorbell suddenly rings. David opens the door and finds his younger brother, Victor, standing there covered in injuries. He asks Victor what happened to him. Victor tells his brother everything that had taken place earlier. After hearing the story, David says, "I'll deal with that special forces captain. You go and capture the girl who caused all of this." Following his brother's orders, Victor heads straight to Isabella's house. There, he kidnaps Isabella and her older sister before taking them back to his hideout. You can only imagine the horrifying torture the two girls are about to face. Meanwhile, we return to the Special Forces briefing room. Let me introduce you to the members of the team. The captain of the squad is Albert. The senior member is Condon. The team's lieutenant is Nava. The two youngest members are Luis and Brad. For Luis and Brad, this is the first major mission of their careers. Captain Albert enters the room and begins explaining the operation. He hands each member a mission file. After going through every detail from beginning to end, Albert says, "Soldiers, we are about to face the city's most dangerous mafia. If even our own special forces are not safe from them, then how can the people of this country be safe? That is why we must stop them at any cost, even if it means sacrificing our own lives." However, before reaching the main mafia boss, they first need to capture William, his right-hand man. William is responsible for carrying out the mafia's most dangerous crimes. If they capture William, reaching the boss will become much easier. After fully understanding the mission, the team begins tracking William's location. Once they discover his hideout, the entire squad gears up and prepares for the raid. After arriving, they divide into two teams. One team, equipped with a sniper, takes position on a nearby mountain to provide long-range cover. The second team advances directly toward William's hideout. According to the plan, the sniper team settles into position on the forested hills overlooking the river. Meanwhile, the rest of the squad carefully moves toward the target. As soon as they arrive, they point their weapons at William and take him hostage. The assault happens so quickly that William and his men do not even get a chance to load their weapons. With no way to fight back, William and his followers surrender to the special forces. When the sniper team confirms that every suspect has been captured, they leave their positions and head down to join the rest of the squad. After everyone regroups, William and his men are handcuffed and loaded onto a speedboat. The team then begins its journey back to the main base. On the way, they stop at a remote location and escort William and his men off the boat. One member of the squad suggests, "We should execute them here with headshots and report that they died during a gunfight." Captain Albert immediately rejects the idea. He reminds his team that they are law enforcement officers. He says that if they themselves break the law, how can they expect the people of the country to respect it? Instead, he orders that William and his followers be transferred to another special forces vehicle. The team then returns to base. After successfully completing the mission, Albert meets with the lieutenant general. Since the operation was a success and his team had not taken leave for a long time, he requests a few days of vacation for all 5 members. Albert also assures the general that once they return from their leave, they will be ready to carry out their next mission. The general trusts Albert and approves leave for all 5 members of his team. Albert shares the good news with everyone, and they set off together in a single vehicle to enjoy their vacation in their village. Before they leave, several special forces soldiers offer to escort them because Albert's team will not be carrying any weapons during their vacation. However, Albert politely refuses, saying there is no need and that they should remain on active duty. The 5 friends are thrilled to finally be on leave together. They capture the happy moment on their mobile phones as they continue their journey. After traveling a short distance, a group of gangsters suddenly ambushes them. This is the same scene shown at the very beginning of the movie. After defeating all of the attackers, Albert orders his team to collect every round of ammunition scattered across the ground. He also gathers the rifles left behind by the gangsters. Albert already knows that David is behind the attack. He realizes that if they have been attacked once, more of David's men are probably moving through the forest toward them. Because of this, they must immediately find a defensive position. Suddenly, another vehicle arrives and opens heavy fire on them. Inside the vehicle is David's brother, Victor. The Special Forces team takes cover behind large rocks before returning fire. Victor's men attack relentlessly, keeping up such intense gunfire that the squad struggles to respond. The barrage continues without stopping for even a second. Seeing this, Albert shouts, "Nobody fire a single shot. Stay quiet and keep your heads down behind the rocks." After several minutes of non-stop shooting, Victor's men finally run out of ammunition. The moment the gunfire stops, Albert gives the order to attack. He shouts, "Fire together. Don't let anyone escape." The entire squad opens fire at the same time. Victor's men begin falling one after another. However, Luis notices that 2 gangsters are still shooting from behind a vehicle. He quickly sets up his sniper rifle and eliminates both of them with precise shots. At the same time, Brad notices that Victor is the only one still standing. Without wasting the opportunity, he fires a shot straight into Victor's chest. Before Albert and his team can reach him, Victor manages to send his location to his older brother, David, using his mobile phone. When the squad arrives, they discover that Victor is already dead. Albert checks Victor's phone and realizes that his location has already been shared. This means more of David's men are on their way. Albert immediately orders his team to move out. After putting some distance between themselves and the battlefield, Albert uses Victor's phone to contact another Special Forces unit at the base. He instructs them to send reinforcements to the location immediately. Meanwhile, David arrives at the scene with his gang. He sees his younger brother's lifeless body and breaks down in tears. Filled with rage, David orders his men, "Spread out and kill anyone you see." A woman named Lucy, who is a member of David's gang, picks up Victor's phone and begins tracking its location. Following the signal, the gang moves along the same route. They have no idea that Victor's phone is now inside Captain Albert's pocket. Meanwhile, Albert and his team have already traveled much farther. Even so, Albert senses that something is wrong. He orders everyone to take cover behind the rocks. Then he sets up his sniper rifle and aims down the road they had just traveled. A few moments later, David's men appear, searching the area. Without hesitation, Albert and his team, already in position, open fire with their sniper rifles. Their accurate shots eliminate the gang members one after another. The sudden attack causes several of David's men to panic and try to escape. However, Albert's team takes them down before they can get away. During the chaos, Lucy manages to escape into a cave deep inside the mountain. Albert attempts to chase her, but she successfully slips away. The fierce gunfight leaves several members of the Special Forces team badly injured. Some are shot in the arm, others are hit in the stomach. Several soldiers collapse to the ground. Their teammates use water and first aid to slow the bleeding. Meanwhile, David and the remaining gang members continue moving toward the area. Lucy finally reaches David and tells him everything that happened. She explains how his men were killed and describes the entire attack in detail. Albert begins wondering how David's gang managed to track them so accurately. Then he suddenly realizes that Victor's mobile phone is still in his pocket. He immediately pulls it out and throws it onto the ground. After that, he gathers his team and leads them along a different route. Meanwhile, David follows the location signal and returns to the same spot. There he finds all of the men he had sent lying dead. Among the bodies, he also finds Victor's mobile phone resting on the ground. This means David can no longer track the Special Forces squad, so he begins withdrawing from the forest. Meanwhile, the Special Forces squad has traveled a great distance. They are badly injured and completely exhausted after the intense gunfight. They decide to stop for a while to rest and treat their wounds. As planned, they sit down and begin giving each other first aid. Suddenly, one of the squad members notices what appears to be a house not far away. Seeing a house in the middle of the forest, Albert immediately suspects that it could be a drug cartel or mafia hideout. Whatever it is, they know they need to reach it first. The team slowly moves forward while carefully watching every direction. With their rifles ready, they cautiously approach the house one step at a time. As they get closer, they spot two armed guards patrolling outside through their sniper scopes. They instantly realize that dangerous gang members are hiding inside. Meanwhile, David and his men arrive at the place where the Special Forces squad had stopped earlier to treat their injuries. After noticing bloodstains on the rocks, they realize the squad continued along this route. Meanwhile, the Special Forces squad splits into two teams. One team moves forward toward the house. The second team stays behind to provide sniper cover. According to the plan, Albert and Fernandez slowly advance toward the building. From a distance, Luis and Brad lock onto each guard through their sniper scopes. One by one, they eliminate the guards and clear the path. Once all the guards outside have been taken down, Albert and Fernandez move in with their rifles ready. They enter the house without hesitation. Anyone who poses a threat inside is immediately neutralized. Albert refuses to take unnecessary risks. His priority is not identifying everyone inside. His main objective is rescuing Isabella and her older sister. After securing the building, they find the two girls in terrible condition. Their injuries clearly reveal the brutal torture they have endured over the past several days. The moment Isabella sees Albert, she recognizes him and runs into his arms, crying. Meanwhile, her older sister is overwhelmed with anger and repeatedly strikes one of the dead gang members. The Special Forces squad gently stops her and assures her that they are safe now. Seeing her sister's pain and emotional state, Isabella realizes the horrific suffering they have endured. Once the situation calms down, the squad safely evacuates both sisters. While searching the house, they discover a large box filled with weapons. The entire squad gathers around it. They open the box and begin selecting the weapons they want to use. Each member loads a magazine into their weapon and prepares for the next battle. As they finish preparing, daylight fades and night slowly falls. Albert gathers the entire team and addresses them. He says, "Soldiers, we left for a vacation, but fate has brought us here. Now we are facing David, the most dangerous mafia leader in this country. I'm certain David and his men will attack us very soon. Even if I am no longer alive to give another order, remember my last command. Fight until your very last breath." After giving the speech, they place bulletproof vests on Isabella and her older sister. Once everything is ready, the team prepares to leave the building. Just as they step outside, a bullet grazes Isabella's leg, causing her to fall to the ground. At that very moment, a relentless storm of bullets rains down from every direction. In the darkness, the Special Forces squad cannot determine where the attackers are positioned. Gunfire pours in from all sides without stopping. Before they can launch a counterattack, they realize they could all be killed by the overwhelming barrage. David's men greatly outnumber them, and their non-stop gunfire makes the situation almost impossible to control. To save everyone's lives, the squad quickly picks up Isabella and retreats back inside the building. Once inside, they discover that several members of the team have been seriously wounded during the attack. They immediately begin providing first aid to the injured soldiers. One of the squad members, Luis, has been badly wounded by a bullet. Despite his injury, he tells Captain Albert Albert, "Captain, don't worry about me. You all move forward. I'll provide covering fire." After saying this, Luis presses a piece of cloth against his wound to slow the bleeding. Then he reloads his rifle and heads back outside to protect his captain and the rest of the team. However, just as they prepare to leave again, they notice David's men setting up a heavy machine gun directly in front of the building. The sight makes escape seem almost impossible. Albert immediately shouts, "Everyone, take cover!" They've set up a machine gun outside. The entire team dives for cover. Seconds later, the machine gun unleashes a relentless barrage of bullets. The gunfire is so intense that the entire house begins falling apart. Bullets tear through the walls, passing dangerously close to everyone inside. Albert realizes that if they remain trapped inside the house, David's gang will eventually overwhelm them. Knowing they have no other choice, he risks his life and quietly slips out through the doorway. Armed with a suppressed rifle, he silently eliminates the enemies one by one from behind. Meanwhile, the rest of the squad realizes that the enemy's gunfire is not going to stop anytime soon. They immediately launch a counterattack to protect themselves. One after another, they take down the attackers with precise shots. As more of David's men fall, the squad slowly pushes out of the house. From the front lines, they launch a direct assault on the remaining gang members. During the intense battle, Fernandez is struck by several bullets while protecting Isabella. Realizing that he may not survive, he ignores his own injuries and uses his remaining strength to eliminate Lucy with a precise headshot. Outside, the team's youngest member, Luis, is critically wounded by enemy gunfire and collapses to the ground. Seeing this, the rest of the squad continues fighting despite the danger. Within minutes, they overwhelm the remaining gang members with relentless fire. Soon, every one of David's men is defeated. After clearing the area, the squad captures David and takes him hostage. Another member of the team desperately tries to stop Luis's bleeding. Despite every effort, his injuries are too severe. The bullet wounds are fatal and there is no way to save him. As his teammates watch in tears, Luis slowly succumbs to his injuries. Captain Albert stands nearby with his rifle aimed at David. The loss of one of his youngest commandos fills him with grief. Struggling to contain his emotions, Albert pulls the trigger. A single shot ends David's life. Albert then walks over and sits beside Luis. Tears stream down his face as he mourns the loss of his teammate. As dawn begins to break, two rescue helicopters appear in the morning sky and fly toward their location. Luis's body is carefully placed inside one of the helicopters. The remaining members of the squad board the aircraft and finally return to their base. And with that, the movie comes to an end.